Okay, gonna play Mercy. Ace in Space. That's a cute name. I know I probably need to blue beam more, but a lot of the game I was focused on movement and keeping everyone alive. Okay. So I'm expecting to see. You said you're focusing on movement. I'm expecting low deaths. What? Why does this happen every time? What is? Okay. Skin check. First of all, what am I looking at? Jesus. Girl can jump. Okay. Personally, first of all, no gold gun. Personally, I think that's a W for this. Anyway, not important. Probably got this for free and I don't blame you. You got the cute little bumblebee charm. Adorable. It sucks because it matches with like nothing besides the actual skin itself, the bumblebee skins. I don't use it because I wear like every mercy. Alright. Your pocket here is going to be Bastion. And you know that, which is good. However, this is Bronze 5. I'm not expecting much. Okay. I want to watch this. We're fine. Okay, first of all. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I want to talk about this while you see it. You are just absolutely throwing yourself into harm's way. They have a Bastion, which you don't know yet, but you're very quickly gonna find out. We're just kind of standing out in the open, and we're like in front of our team, like we're kind of frontlining here. Just like, okay, this is a good place to stand. Then we GA right back out into the open, and instead of GAing over to the side where it would be safe, we GA upwards so that we're still out in the open. We're still out in the open. We're still out in the open. You see the Doomfist and you go, uh-oh. And you stay that hog. Like, I'm scared for you. Thank God. I don't know if he used his cooldown or if he's just stupid, but like, my God. And then we walk past the Bastion. You should have just stayed right. Oh, I forgot I pointed out. You should have stayed right here. You should have just stayed right here. You would have had view of the Doomfist and still been able to heal, and you wouldn't have crossed over and endangered yourself. It's good that you're focusing on movement, but movement and positioning go hand in hand. Like, standing here is an awful idea. What really... So, I think, like, the worst part... I don't want to say, like, worst part. You're just out in the open too much. But here, like, you shouldn't be frontlining. You should be waiting for your team to get there first. There's no reason for you to walk out here ever. There's no reason for you to do that. You should have stopped right here, waited. There was no reason to walk out. I get your Doomfist is going in. You know, preferably, a tank would like wait to dive until everyone's in a position. Obviously, this is bronze. You're in so much danger. There's no reason to be over here. It's not too bad. If you were to hug this wall, it wouldn't be bad, but then you go over here, and instead of GAing to this nice, safe wall, you go up in the air. You just kind of like float forward. So right off the bat, I think that the main issue we're going to be seeing a lot of the time is your positioning, which is the big thing for most low elo. I just did a gold person. I just did a gold Mercy VOD review. And they had the same issue. It was just massive amounts of positioning, and then also a lot of needless GAing, which I feel like we're going to be seeing here. You seem to just GA on cooldown. And while I can kind of understand that, like, a lot of times when I'm playing quick play, I'm just holding that GA button down, because it's just fun. But here, it's all about positioning. And right here on Coliseo, you have all of these little nooks and crannies, and you should be standing in them hidden. Your beam, like, as long as you're at the right angle, you can beam whoever you want without having to worry about getting hit. So I think that's going to be a big issue, and I'm going to bet literal money that you're going to go save a feeding Doomfist and die in the process. Sacrificing yourself for a stupid feeding Doomfist is not the play. A bronze Doomfist is never going to be worth your life. Anyway, so you would just walk through mass amounts of danger, and once again, you're doing it again. You're just walking around out in the open. There's so many safe places you could have stood. I just want. Oh, I'm in pain. I know we just looked, but oh my god. So you could GA right over to that wall, and instead you don't. You could have GA'd to safety, and instead you decide to stay out in the open. It's not too bad over on that side. Like, you're not doing too bad being on that side. Sorry, it would be this side. Like, that's not bad. Then you have to go. You try to save the Doomfist, then you change your mind. Okay. Holding heal on the Hanzo. I understand you want to heal the Bastion. I get that. And once again, we're just like, you're right on top of the Bastion. Okay, so you're trying to get to the Doomfist. There was no reason to. You're just like, look at that Roadhog right there. That's terrifying. I think you definitely need to be more proactive on damage boost, but I don't, unless I see an instance where like I think I need to tell you, I think you know that. I think the big thing is pointing out positioning, because that seems to be the big issue here. However, good res, good position for the res, good res, that's on your pocket. I don't know why you GA away from your pocket, and we're once again just kind of holding heal on the Hanzo. I know I wasn't going to point out damage boost, but there's no reason to be holding heal at this point in time. You know everyone is healed to full. You don't need to top up Doomfist, that should be Kiriko's job. You're taking ult charge. And also, stay back with your Bastion. Your Bastion can help the Doomfist from there, and you wouldn't be dying. Now the big thing here is you GA for no reason, and then go up. Horrible decision. Sorry if that was... I feel like that was mean to say it like that. I've noticed with both of the VODs I watched, both from the Gold One Mercy and from you guys really, really like crouch super jump. You really, really like it. And here's the thing, crouch super jump is good for gaining lots of height quickly, and that's about it. That's about it. That's the only time you should really be doing that. And the only other time I really ever use crouch super jump is maybe if I'm pocketing someone just to stay up in the air with like an Echo or Pharah, but even then, it's not a good idea. Really not. Crouch super jump is a super predictable movement because you're just going directly straight up and then you're just going to glide down slowly, okay? Because you're, first of all, because it's crouch and not just a GA, you're making it so you have that extra point in time before cooldown starts. If you remember, they talked about that. Yes, cooldown shorter, but the time before cooldown starts is now longer if you use crouch or jump. So by using crouch, it means that it takes a second for your cooldown to start, so you can't even GA away quickly. You have to float downwards slowly. And they have a soldier, and before they had a Bastion, okay, so there's no excuse, there was always a hit scan. And you just GA'd right up into their line of sight. I understand if you wanted to help that Doomfist, but even if you were helping that Doomfist, literally could have stood right there and just helped him. Would have been fine. Probably even better if you stood right there and then GA'd away if you need. There was no reason to go up in the air. And honestly, breaking the habit of crouch GA is a really good idea because it's really just not, it does not help you. Okay, so they've rezzed. Kayla's also dead. I was gonna say, Hanzo's dead. Hopefully Rhea doesn't feed. Hopefully Rhea leaves. Okay. Yeah, don't go in. Good job. Good job. That was the right decision. I'm proud. Once again, I don't really see why we're holding kill. I mean, obviously she's running away. It's not a big deal, but I feel like a lot of times people get into the habit of holding heal when they don't need to, and it actually is affecting your play. Even if it's like something where it doesn't matter, practicing good gameplay habits is good. Also, that GA, bad GA again. You're GAing right up into their line of sight. And again, actually, I just wanna. Don't let them take the lead. Soldier's your biggest threat, right? Ooh. I'm gonna slow it down just a little bit. So he's damage boosted, which makes him massive. Ooh. Okay, he gets in. He's focused on that. Okay, you're rezzing. You go right out into this line of sight. Thankfully, he doesn't look there. Oh, you're still in line of sight? You're really looking out here in terms of where he's looking. Let's see. If we go for, like, hog. Soldiers. Okay. And you're up in the air where everyone can see you. And again. Up in the air where everyone can see you. You do it again. How much do you want to bet? Okay, that time you don't go up, which I'm proud of. Good job. But you should be damage boosting your Bastion on the side right there. Your Bastion's in turn. And he's infinitely more valuable than this stinky Doomfist. Like, once again, we're just holding the heal for no reason. There's no reason we're holding heal now. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal because no one's fighting, but it's more about the habit you're forming. If your default is heal, that's a bad default. Your default should be damage boost. Just, and once again, I don't know why we're pocketing Hanzo right now. Your Bastion is... Your default your Bastion is always just gonna be the better pocket. Okay, and like your Bastion's in turret form again and you're ignoring him. I know I said I wasn't gonna talk about damage boost much, but that was a rough GA. Do you know how to GA cancel? Because I think it would be good for you to know how to do that, because you seem to you seem to not. So, first of all, when you GA, you have quite a few options. You can GA and then hit crouch and go straight up in the air. You can GA and hit jump and launch straight forward, or GA, hit GA, look up in the air and hit jump and go upwards. You can GA and just stop. Just only hit GA. That'll lead you directly to your target. You can GA a little bit and then cancel your GA by hitting GA again. You can GA and then hit your backwards input and like hit jump and go backwards. There's a lot of different options. I'm noticing that the only things you really seem to do are GA crouch and GA jump forward. And you're jumping into people a lot of times. I'd rather, at that point, like when they're grouped together like that and you're just GAing into them, I'd rather you hit crouch. Like, it would still be bad, but at least you're not directly in their team. I know you said you're focusing on movement. I think what you really need to start doing is expanding the types of movement you're using, because if those are your two defaults, you are really putting yourself in a lot of danger, because like I said, you've got hit scan and you're just going to go up and get melted, and then you're just going to GA forward right into that Roadhog and get shotgunned down. And you need to stop topping up your Doomfist. I get that he's low, but personally, no excuse. And I can understand if your Doomfist is on crit and your Kiriko can't see them wanting to help. I'd even say sometimes if they can live, help. But you're stealing ult charge from your Kiriko right now, and no offense to you, but full offense to Mercy. Valk is it's not that great an ultimate. It's not. Kiriko's ultimate Kitsune Rush is infinitely more powerful, and especially with a turreting Bastion, could melt people. And her ult is worth more. By going in and topping up the Doomfist when Kiriko's slow moving heal is going to get to him before he takes any damage, you're stealing our ult charge and you're effectively harming your team. You need to get out of the habit of topping off tank. It's just not helpful. Topping off someone who's like just out of her line of sight, like a squishy, like that's reasonable. But you're a little bit too focused on this Doomfist. You care a little bit too much about him. Your priority list should go Kiriko in terms of healing, at least. Kiriko, your pocket, Hanzo, the tank. No one gives a shit about that tank other than Kiriko. That's Kiriko's number one, not your number one. It depends. Your pocket and Kiriko are they're very important, but you need to care less about this Doomfist, okay? Because he doesn't care about you. He's busy throwing the game. Ooh, why would we do that? I guess you wanted to help the Kiriko? That Kiriko was safe. You didn't need to go over there. I don't... I'm glad you feel invincible to that Roadhog. You're very lucky. I don't think this Roadhog's hit like a single heart. You are. You are testing his limits. Oh, you hit one. You're like ignoring that. Once again, we can flick in some damage boost here. There's no reason to not damage boost. Even if your Doomfist has missing health, damage boost so that he dies faster. So the hog dies faster. Unless your Doomfist is on crit, there's no reason to do that. Alright, are we gonna go back to the pocket? Okay. Oh, no, see? Ignore the Doomfist. The Doomfist is not your priority. I understand the Bastion isn't doing much. For some reason, the Bastion is our payload pusher. But I'd rather you even go with the Hanzo. Because Doomfist is just... like, he's meant to play on his own. And you keep endangering yourself. Okay, good. We stopped the GA. That's good. And I can tell you're looking for the Doomfist here. You don't care about anyone else, you're looking for the Doomfist. I don't like you rezzing in front of the stun, but you know what? It worked. Maybe next time go over the wall. Because any competent player would stun you there. Okay, yes, yes, get some damage on that. See, and you're Doomfist again. Listen, I know Doomfist is very handsome. Ignore him. He's nothing. Okay. Hey, look at your poor Bastion on crit. Okay, I like this. This is much better. It's like he makes noise and you're like, oh my god, Doomfist! And there's the punishment. You're very lucky. You are so lucky that Hog doesn't one-shot anymore. Because here are the repercussions for how you're playing. This is what should have been happening every single time you did that. And if you were to even go up a little bit, it wouldn't be consistent still until you hit like Diamond or Masters, but like even in Gold, you'd be getting punished for this even more. Like, first off, we're up in the air. Thank God they're all on that side. And then okay, that's not too bad. We're a little bit lost, just desperately searching, and you get out of position. I think that's the main issue, is you're so hyper-focused on this Doomfist. You are on a suicide mission to keep him alive. And it is a suicide mission because you keep endangering yourself over and over again in order to help a Doomfist that doesn't even need help. He does not need help. Almost every time you're like, oh my god, Doomfist, he's like over half health and Kiriko's healing him. You are prioritizing the wrong person here. And I think your big thing, I know you said you're working on your movement. It's mainly positioning, but it seems like by extension, because you only know these two different methods of moving, from what I've seen at least, you are essentially fucking yourself over with your movement. You do not need to constantly be GAing. You should be playing cover more, and you need to practice other forms of GA movement because what you have right now is endangering you. It's not bad. Those are good movement techs, but the way you're using them isn't helpful. Alright, we're gonna easy win this. I don't know why we're holding heal on that. Like I said. Ooh, okay. 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 Roadhog needs to get off the game. There's no excuse. Like, okay, he's ulting. He's ulting. You're rezzing. What happened, bro? What happened? This means nothing to you? Who is he ulting that he hates so much? Okay, the full health Doom. Please. Do you want to know how lucky you are right now? You should be dead. And I want you to be dead. I'm sorry, not in that way. I'm just saying, in this situation, because you got this res off, you're gonna win. And that's great. They've got an ult. You're now gonna be up 4 to 2, it's gonna go great. Obviously, I think everyone else is like gonna come back from spawn, but you should be fine. However, that was a horrible res. What I'd prefer is if you waited even a second. Hanzo like just died. Just died. If you let him get distracted and then wait until after that to instead res him, preferably more over to the side, I would say, okay, I mean, not my favorite res, and you should, anyone with a brain would go for you over the Doomfist, but you know, it was a good res in terms of it was the right thing to do, it was the smart thing to do. However, in the future, do not res in front of people like that, especially not someone that can stun you and that is shotguns and that is ulting right now, because he can still stun you in this. He can still stun you in this, and his ult kills you fast because you're squishy. It's just not. Your life is worth more than this. I don't understand. Like, how did he not kill you? And then we, see? Yeah, like, why? We didn't need to rest that. We didn't need to GA there. Didn't need to. And if we were to GA, we'd GA backwards, away. The issues that I'm having are mainly with positioning and your movement. I'm always going to be a little bit bitchy about damage boost, okay? I always am, just because I feel like people don't realize, like, how it should be utilized a lot of the time. You really should be focusing on one person to damage boost and prioritizing them. At this point in time, I would not mind if it was a tank. If you're going to sit here and, like, pocket a tank, okay, fine. Prioritize damage boost, because you're fucking over your Kiriko by taking her healing. That aside, the big things are your positioning and your movement. You really need to just not use GA as much. And this was the same issue that the Gold Mercy had, though I feel it was to a little bit of a lesser extent. You are GAing on cooldown, and I understand it's fun, but you are 1000% endangering yourself because your movement is very limited. Because you only really seem to have these 2 GA options, and you default to GA crouch super jump. And that is, I strongly detest the usage of that outside of trying to get somewhere high or trying to perform a close-up super jump res. I really do not recommend it outside of those circumstances because it's very predictable, it's easy to track, you're just fucking yourself over. I really encourage you to go into like a Mercy parkour or like look at some Mercy movement videos and see how they play. Look at some like maybe stuff with keybinds. I know I have like Mercy parkour videos where you kind of see my keybinds and like what I'm pressing and when. Big other thing is because you're GAing on cooldown, you're not playing cover, and you need to be playing cover, and that will help you a lot more in staying safe. Playing cover is the like one of the biggest parts of Mercy because otherwise you're just gonna get picked off by hit scan 24/7. GA is more of an escape tactic, a way to stay inconsistent, but the issue is you are staying consistent. You are doing the same movement over and over again. On that, if you're not playing cover, you need to be moving unpredictably, and you also need to stay with the same person.